What's up, YouTube? Judge of all trades here, and today I'm talking about Westworld Episode 9, The Well-Tempered Clavier. Jumping right in, I think the first 10 minutes of this episode was really nicely done because we had that scene between Maeve and Bernard, and it just felt like one of those kind of falling dominoes things. It was kind of foreseeable at this moment, but it was also kind of nice that as soon as you're seeing things in the scene, you're understanding oh, these events happened in the past, that set up for it just perfectly, and I really like that. There's a really nice gotcha moment when Maeve tells Bernard something like, oh, I almost didn't recognize you, because obviously she's interacted before with either Bernard or with Arnold. To me, it seems like she would have been talking about interacting with Arnold in the past, but because she uses the voice commands to control Bernard, it seems like she's probably interacted with Bernard as the host before. So my big question coming out of that is I'm wondering if Maeve has interacted with Bernard before, or if she interacted with Arnold in the past, and how much of the glitch that she's experiencing now when she wakes up is something that Arnold programmed specifically for her. Finally, in the Maeve story, we see that she joined up with Hector and enlists his help in escaping. And it was nice in this scene that she didn't just use the voice commands to control him and to get him to do whatever she wanted to, but she just spoke her perspective on how that world was, and she likened it to that vault that he thought was full of cash but was really empty. And she says, there's nothing here that can satisfy us, but there's gods and there's things that are bigger than all this, and I want your help with it. And he just goes along. And you could say that this all ends with a hot sex scene in which it implies that Maeve is going to bring Hector to the laboratory, where I'm assuming she's going to brief him on everything that she knows, and she's probably going to alter his own personality and change his attributes to make him smarter, whatever she needs for the escape. Next, we got a lot of Bernard in this episode, and correct me if I'm wrong, but here's my current understanding of what's happening. Ford had a partner in the past named Arnold. For whatever reason, Dolores kills Arnold, and Dr. Ford, thinking Arnold was actually a pretty good partner to me and I wish I had someone similar to him, makes pretty much an exact clone of Arnold and names him Bernard, and that's the host that we've been seeing this entire series. Now, just like with Maeve, when we started out with Bernard and Dr. Ford in episode 9, it looks like Bernard had all of his ducks in a row. I mean, he got Dr. Ford alone. He knew that he couldn't kill him, but he gave Clementine the gun so she could do it, and I was rooting completely on Team Bernard's that he would get his way. But ultimately here, Bernard took an L and he was forced to kill himself while Dr. Ford got away, because after all, Ford is the god of Westworld. There was a lot of exposition in the scenes with Ford and Bernard. It was hard to tell what was relevant to what's happening right now. But the biggest question I think I have going forward is, because Bernard ultimately did kill himself, are we going to see him in episode 10? Put a comment below to tell me what you think. My feelings on the matter are, I think yes, he will be in episode 10, because Dr. Ford even stated that him and Arnold, or Dr. Ford and Bernard, have had their disagreements in the past, and they've had this conversation before where Dr. Ford explains everything and he gives Bernard all these memories. So it seems like Dr. Ford can quickly create another Bernard, or more likely he probably has a closet full of Bernards where he just opens it up and takes out another one and they just continue as usual. Either way, it seems to me that Bernard is going to be instrumental in Maeve's escape plan, so I think he needs to be there, and he will make another appearance in episode 10 for us. This episode also had a lot about Bernard and his son, and I think that is probably a true story that happened to Arnold. I think this event is really part of his cornerstone that made Arnold who he was as a person, and definitely influenced his decisions as a creator of Westworld. But even more so on that topic of backstory, we got more information about the Man in Black / William, that I'm completely bought in at this point that they are the same person on different timelines. Now, William had married into this family that was a huge stakeholder in Westworld, and until he got to the park, he didn't really understand what it was all about. Once he's there, though, William definitely drank the Kool-Aid and went headfirst into what is Westworld. And even in this episode, it's interesting, Logan said, hey man, since you got here, you haven't been talking about your wife. All you're talking about is Dolores, and you're so involved in this experience that you're having. Moving forward in William's timeline, I think this is very important for him, that he's so wrapped up in Westworld, he can't pay attention to his real life, and this ultimately does lead to him neglecting his family and to his wife's unfortunate suicide. But also in this episode, we got a real triggering moment for William when Logan stabbed Dolores and revealed that, hey, She's actually a robot, just like everyone else here. And William seemingly accepted this. He acted like he calmed down and that he made friends and everything. But just like any other rational person would do, he stayed up all night butchering the Confederados. And now he is crazier than ever, and he's dragging Logan out to find Dolores. So whatever he finds with Dolores, I think is going to tie into whatever Arnold put in her head, and they are going to find, the beginning of the maze and its origin story with whatever happens in the season finale. As opposed as I was to the idea that William and the Man in Black was going to be the same person, I'm really liking the execution here. I think the creators of the series did a really good job, and it's playing out really nicely for me. Heading into the season finale, I got just a couple more questions. First off, I'm wondering, why did Dolores kill Arnold? Between Dr. Ford and Arnold, it's been told that Arnold's story is the real one. And I think Arnold's problem is that he's getting too wrapped up in the humanity and the realism of the park. And this was holding up the actual development of the Westworld park that they're making available to people. And it was stifling Dr. Ford's creativity. So ultimately, this difference, I think, is what led Dr. Ford to make Dolores murder Arnold. And secondly, I'm wondering now, because the flashbacks keep changing, is Teddy Wyatt? It looks like Teddy's actually massacred people before, and earlier in this season, the Man in Black questioned Ford directly and asked, hey, did you finally make a worthy adversary for me? And it seems like this is all culminating in their relationship, actually, and Teddy being the Man in Black's ultimate nemesis. I'm wondering if they're going to find the real thing that he's looking for, if they're going to find real violence and real adventure, and if the Man in Black gets murdered in there, hey, Dr. Ford has made like host versions of everyone. So if he makes a host Man in Black, puts him on the board, and has more influence and control over the Westworld park, all the more power to him. Early in this season, there were a few episodes where I was kind of wanting on the violence side of it, and I needed more action in the series, but I'm at a point where I'm completely satisfied, and I'm just wondering ideologically what the producers of the show want us to see and what we're going to find out about the relationships and the characters in this show. I am definitely going to be watching the season finale next week, episode 10. I'm sure you'll be watching it too. If you like my review, go ahead and hit a thumbs up. If you want to talk about whatever in the show that I talked about in this video or otherwise, leave a comment below and I'll respond to it. And I will see y'all next week after the season finale. Take care. Bye, y'all.